Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel once again. I'm Robert Storms. We got some news that I came across, and apparently the creator of Captain Marvel, but not really Captain Marvel, the creator of Carol Danvers, didn't really like the movie all that much. Didn't like how they portrayed certain things in the Captain Marvel movie, and I want to kind of go over it. One of his biggest gripes that Roy Thomas, the creator of Carol Danvers, has said that he didn't like how they portrayed the Skrulls in the movie. Like, he didn't like how they turned from being bad to good. He said in his Skrull-Kree war that he helped develop, he helped create, that they were both equally dickheads. Like, the Skrulls and the Krees were equally just as bad. And he didn't like how they turned the Skrulls into this family-friendly type of race. And he went on to say that I suspect Stan Lee and Jack Kirby would agree with me. And in some aspects, I do agree with Roy Thomas here, because it kind of threw me for a loop when I went to go see the movie. Like, we all know the Skrulls. We all know how the Skrulls are. We all know how the Kree are, if you're familiar with the comic books. And by turning them into this family-friendly race, it really kind of took away what the Skrulls were. And that it bothered me, but I think what happened was, I think Kevin Feige in the MCU and the director of Captain Marvel did it so well that I really didn't care at the end of the day, because I still enjoyed the movie. Now, I wish the Skrulls would have stayed the villains, because I think they could have played more in that sandbox, but we know that the Marvel Studios and MCU likes to take liberties and change things all the time. They just change things all the time in these movies, and if you are someone who's a hardcore Skrull-Kree fan, that's going to bother you. And I mean, it's just going to happen. Just like with me in Spider-Man Homecoming, with them switching Genki to making them Ned Leeds, and what they did was Flash and MJ and Gwen, or not Gwen, but Betty Brant. Just, if you're a hardcore fan of the source material, it's going to bother you. That's just the way it is. That's why Iron Man 3 is so low on my list, because of what they did with the Mandarin. So I see where Roy Thomas is talking about. And then he goes on to say that, I didn't really like how they did Supreme Intelligence. And then he goes on and says, I think the reviews are right, but it's not one of the better Marvel movies. Not as good an origin as the recent Black Panther, or dare I say, Warner Brothers DC's Wonder Woman movie. And that's where I agree with him 100%. I actually really like Captain Marvel, but I think Wonder Woman's far superior. You heard my video yesterday when I was talking about the box office numbers. Yes, it passed it worldwide, but that's because of that Marvel banner, that Marvel Studios banner. Has nothing to do with the quality of the film. I think Captain Marvel is a fun movie. I enjoyed it, but Wonder Woman was something special. I felt like that was a better origin of the character. I think they did Wonder Woman more justice than what they did with Carol Danvers. He also went on to say, but it was entertaining, and it shows it was a good setup for what's to come with Avengers Endgame. And he thought Brie Larson was fine, but he said just feels like she wasn't given much emotional stuff to do, which, again, I agree. I mean, basically, her direction for the movie was, hey, stand there and look miserable. If you smile, we're going to have Jude Law say, shut up and stop smiling. So, I think Carol Danvers, I think a lot of characters were underwritten in Captain Marvel. That doesn't change the fact that I still very much like the movie. But if you sit there and you watch it, you can't deny that there are problems with that film. Right? I don't think it deserves all the hate that these fucking trolls are doing with it, trying to hate on it for every little thing. It's racist. It's got empty seats. It's got, I don't believe in that. I believe if you don't like the movie, you have the right to not like the movie, and you have valid points if you point stuff out. But to go out and start trying to bash and sabotage and boycott is taking it to the extreme. I think Captain Marvel is a fine, mediocre movie, but I don't think it deserves all the hate that it's been getting. And Roy Thomas just coming out kind of confirmed some of the stuff that I've been feeling about how the Kree and the Skrulls were portrayed in this movie, how a lot of the characters were underwritten, but it's a good setup for Endgame. It's a good setup for Carol Danvers. But I just kind of want to put it out there and talk about how Roy Thomas, the creator of Carol Danvers, and how he feels about the movie. But I want to know what you guys think. Be sure to leave your comments in the comment box below. Until next time, as always, I'm Robert Storms, and that's my opinion.